Hello everybody, my name is Pravus and welcome to more Hearts of Iron 4. Yes, Equestria at War. I know, here we go again. Now if you haven't seen Equestria at War before, this is a My Little Pony overhaul mod for Hearts of Iron 4, and you laugh, but it is, in fact, one of the best overhaul mods that currently exists. An extraordinary community and very, very in-depth content for this game. Now, the developers of the Equestria at War mod were kind enough to reach out to me and offer an early look at the upcoming update 1.8 in the Shadow of Mountains, and of course, I was happy to accept. Let's go ahead and start up a new game. There are a few nations that got some new national focus trees, and we're going to be playing with one of them today. A lot of the action is focused in this general vicinity right over here. We have the Casa Free State, which is a Liberian-inspired former slave/refugee nation that has risen up to democratic prominence. We have the Barad Majocracy, who is actually who I wanted to play, but unfortunately their focus tree isn't quite ready at the time that I'm looking at this build. These are run by extremely unethical mages, which sounds really fun for me, so wanted to play with them. We'll have to keep an eye on them in the future. Austerland, these are Viking deer who are looking to modernize. The Kingdom of Wittenland is a member of the River Coalition, this big green group over here, and it is a monarchy that focuses a lot on intrigue and a lot of internal politics. Hellquill has gotten an update. These are extremely militaristic and aggressive griffins, and the nation we are playing with is the Bakaran Republic. This is a Venice-inspired pony nation in the River Coalition, and there's a very strong focus on trade and the naval game. However, the members of the Bakaran Republic are not especially thrilled with the direction that the River Coalition has been going lately, since they introduced some monarchs into the group, and we might be trying to change the politics from within. At least that's what I've got going for me. So let's go ahead and start up a new game as the Bakaran Republic and see just how well we fare. Gonna move me out of the way a little bit. There we go. Okay. Along the northeastern shore of Griffonia, the ponies of Bakara sail the seas, trading with their neighbors and collecting the ocean's bounty, as they have going back countless generations. Strong democratic tradition, desire for justice, they do not like monarchs. Keep it right there. Slavers and despots of any sort. We don't have a very strong army, but we do have a powerful navy. Although initially enthusiastic supporters of the River Coalition, of which they were a founding member, in recent years many Bakarans have soured on the enterprise as the economic benefits of lower trade barriers have become overshadowed by ideological concerns. We do not like Diamond Mountain, Nimbuja, and Wittenland because they're monarchs and despots. We hate them. So, it sounds like we are going to be trying to change things as soon as we can. Let's go to that national focus tree. Oh my god, that's a lot! Woohoo! Okay, yes, there's a lot to look at here in this national focus tree. So on the left here we have mostly economic concerns, leading down toward extra doctrines, as well as factories and infrastructure and research slots, etc. Pretty typical stuff. Then we have review the military, starting up here in the middle, and this will branch off into upgrades from our Navy, for our Air Force, and for our land forces. And then over here on the right is our political ambitions. Dreams of a federation. If we are a member of the River Union, or River Coalition, I don't know, keeps changing, we'll gain 125 political power, and this is going to start working down economic and political reform for the coalition, with the goal of eventually turning it into the River Federation, of which I am in charge. Now that sounds like a little bit of fun. So let's start with the dreams of a federation. Getting some early political power is almost always a good idea. We will want to be getting some more factories. We should probably go ahead and get at least a little bit of infrastructure just to speed some things along. That's actually not where I want to put it. Let's try a couple over here. Maybe just one, and then a couple of civilian factories. There's complex math as far as at some points, you know, whether or not it is worth building infrastructure and then building factories. I usually find build one infrastructure for every 2 factories you plan on building, and that's close enough until you're at least up to level 5 or 6. Once you get to a militarist economy, though, with the war economy, it pretty much never seems to be worth it. That's at least what I've read so far. Okay, let's go to our standard industry openings with the efficiency cap, the construction technology, and the research. Of course, given that we are a pony nation, which I haven't done on this channel yet, and there's a reason I haven't, because it's just, ponies. But we are playing as them now, and that means we have special racial technology with our ponies along over here, including mages and so on. Yeah, we're basically a magical nation. Because friendship is magic and stuff, right? Okay, well, let's go ahead and start building up some new ships, since that seems to be one of the few things that I am good at. I wouldn't mind having some simple destroyers. Actually, we probably don't want these. Those are early destroyers. Let's go for the 1007 and maybe a cruiser and also some heavy ships. We'll just do this for now. I think that will end up being just fine. We'll eventually want some support equipment and we'll want some artillery, though I wouldn't mind focusing heavily on a light tank game if I can this time around, just because I think that could be a little bit of fun. Let's go ahead and set you guys up against, I don't know, I'll just set you guys, oh, wait, nope. I guess we don't need to send you anywhere. How about we just send you guys on an area defense of my territory? There we go. That should be just fine and dandy. Oh, we have one I missed. There we go. Okay, problem solved. Thank you. Not enough materials, huh? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and trade with Skyfall, I guess. No, I don't care really. I don't think I need steel that much. In fact, I'm actually willing to go ahead and turn off some of these ships because it is far more important to me that we have the steel going to getting some extra rifles for the time being, but that should be all right. So how long is it going to take for our first national focus? 70 days! Ah, Popey. That's going to take a very long time. Okay, let's take a look down here. We only have a small science base. We are not extremely developed in terms of science, which is unfortunate because obviously we are suffering a 55% research speed malus. So that ends up being very, very unpleasant. If we can find any ways to improve this, that would be great, though sometimes you don't have a choice. We have an outdated industrial sector, which is only one step below the optimal modern society. So this isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's not great. Obviously, I'd love to modernize, if at all possible, as well. We are led by Water Lily, who is born to a relatively poor farming family in the rural countryside of Bakaran, blah, 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 blah. She became a teacher and was able to support herself and her new husband, a fellow university graduate. How very nice. Now she's trying to protect democracy. Okay, well, that's pretty cool. Good, I appreciate your ambition. We are the Shipmasters of the East. Naval experience gain every day, which is pretty darn nice. We have a Navy Chief cost reduction, a doctrine, research speed, etc. Anything to focus on the Navy game. Pretty fun. I don't get to do that very often, so maybe we'll actually try to really go with the Navy. The Bakaran militia system. Very good at mobilizing, but not exactly very good at organization or planning speed, so we may want to modify this in the future if we can. The Ancient Republic. Extra political power stability and an increased surrender limit. That's pretty nice for us. All of those are solid. I like that. The election of 1007. We lose political power, and in the meantime, we have extra acceptance of various different diplomatic groups. I'm not too sure exactly what that's going to mean. Treaty of the Coldstream member. I think that just means that we are a member of the River Coalition, and modest illiteracy, which is reducing my research speed even further. Again, anything we can do to get rid of some of those would be quite fine and dandy. The March of the Proletariat. And so this is the cause of our movement, that the poor may not continue their subservience to the capitalistic classes, that they may never feel the weight of tyranny on their shoulders, and may be free from the chains that still hold them. Brave Foam's continued speech brought on cheers and shouts from the assembled crowd of ponies on the dock district of Bakaran City. ZDS rallies had recently intensified throughout the city in the run-up of the 1007 election, setting many of the town on edge. As the communists rallied, other Bakaran citizens looked on with a mix of interest, curiosity, and fear. Brave Foam's speech began to reach a crescendo, riling the crowd into even further frenzy. And so our nation may reforge itself in the flame of socialism and make for itself a new future in a nation, and eventually a coalition of our own making. Foam's remarks about the coalition worried many other segments of society, especially the merchant classes of the city. I'm going with the merchants. We're going hardcore Venice this time around. They warned the government to try to prohibit Foam from making any of these speeches again, advising his radical foreign policy may cause a rift within the nation's allies. But just as well, many politicians point to the enshrined right to public gatherings that Bakaran holds, and that trying to clamp down on Foam may simply incite further violence. So, it is their diplomatic right, and this is interesting. Voter support. I think this is a new mechanic that they've been introducing in 1.8. So there actually will be elections, and we can see the different candidates and how they are going to be gaining or losing various different support. We can lose some political power and accept the increase in popularity of communism, or we can lose some stability and we create electoral unrest. Now, what the heck does that mean? That is a very good question. Let's see, hang on a second. Politics of the Riverlands. The presidential race. Okay, so we can see some of the different groups here. The BFZ. Okay, we become fully independent, blah, blah, blah. Firm screws efforts to get elected. ZDS is going to be the communists. BSP is TDIP, whoever the heck that is. And we are currently led by the SDH, which is the democratic. So I'm guessing supremacist, communists, non-aligned, and democratic? Maybe, but we only have 297 days to figure this one out. Then we can take a look here at the dreams of a federation. Increasing our standing by completing different focuses would let us form the River Coalition. Federation. Whichever country has the highest standing is going to become the leader of a federation. I like the idea of going for that. So I think we are going to be focusing heavily on Water Lily in order to try and keep this, though I don't know if maybe picking up one of the other ideologies would change up our national focus tree. That sort of thing would not be too unusual. So we're going to have to accept probably that the ZDS is going to gain some voter support, because I'm not sure what electoral unrest is. Finishing the election at 70% or more electoral unrest will lead to negative consequences. Oh. Okay, so as long as we keep the unrest down a little bit, we can afford to be a little corrupt. Is that what you're saying? Certainly seems that is the case. I still don't think it's worth losing the stability, so we'll accept this for now. But let's go ahead and support Water Lily and her ambitions. We can arrest people, attract the moderate socialists, poach BSP voters, and reassure the people. Okay, so we need a lot of political power, is what I am seeing out of some of that. Okay, this is starting to look a little bit more like the Spanish Civil War than I think I was expecting, but okay. Yeah, no, fine, I'm into it. Hey, if you can make this more interesting, I'm super cool. Coup attempt in Lake City. Don't care. Doesn't matter all that much. It's gonna be fine. I want to form this federation, dang it. I want this entire coalition to be under my control. And then I'm gonna beat the snot out of the Griffins. If we're allowed. I don't know. We'll see. I don't have a very strong army, so that's obviously going to be a bit of a problem, but we'll see. The extra political power could actually make a huge difference, just ensuring that I do get elected as desired. If we were to reassure the people, we can actually reduce the unrest, which is helpful, gain extra stability, increase political power, and more harmony support, all of which are pretty solid. We can make the BSP lose some voter support. We can do... Yeah, we can just draw support away from pretty much everyone else. So right now, if we're sitting at 25%, then we want to reduce, let's say, ZDS and stuff like that, since they have the most. Anything that keeps me in the clear majority. Unless this is some sort of a special runoff election. I don't know how this system is supposed to work. Maybe? I'm just going to assume whoever has the overall majority is going to win. But let's see if we can go for an outright 50%. I don't know if it's possible. We're going to find out. Who are these guys, by the way? Creepy-looking, no-faction queen pony things. Okay. You look dangerous. Radio. Bakarska Enotnust. What's that supposed to be? And so remember, citizens of Bakara, always stay vigilant, be ready to defend your nation, and stand up to those who would tear apart our traditions. I think that's misspelled there. Water Lily sits in her office, tapping her hoof on the desk. Because, of course, they all have hooves. The closing remarks of the new BFZ radio show are worrying. They now function as a significant political force for the upcoming election. And this radio channel could spread their ideas and further normalize them to the public. The BFZ's meteoric rise threatened the establishment of both the Bakara's center parties, and they seem to be going all out for the 1007 runoff. I keep wanting to say 10,000, I don't know why. This radio show, for now, only localized to the Bakara urban area, seemed to be one of their primary efforts. Water Lily faced with a difficult choice. Let the show remain and risk losing support in the election, or possibly damage her rivals in the BSP as well. Or she could put her hoof down, trying to limit the reach of the program, curtailing their scope, but also provoking more extreme responses. So we can really mess up a lot of folks and lose more political power. Supremacy goes up regardless. Losing a lot of stability is pretty bad, but I think we can tamp down on these guys a little bit. We can accept a little bit of unrest. I don't think that's going to be too bad. I do need to save up some political power in order to reassure the people. Let's go ahead and do that now, actually. Get some of that base stability back up. And we'll start getting some more political power gain, which is certainly helpful. And we'll burn that electoral unrest back down. It takes 50 days in order to run these. So we'll have to make sure that we time these carefully around the election. But at least a little bit more political power is on the way. Hello. Boom. Thank you. Okay. So Dreams of a Federation is done. The River Science Society. We can join a special group, and we would get extra standing in the race to form the Federation. Okay, so more science isn't bad. We could invest and get more standing, but not in our own territory. Somebody else gets a factory. Okay. Invest in somebody else. Send delegations to the northern ponies, get more political power. I think we're going to go for sending a delegation just for the political power for now. Still think it's very important that we are able to win the coalition. The election. So it looks like we can only do one of these at a time. So even more, we have to be careful about timing out how we are going to be doing some of these measures. It looks like we can only do a couple at a time. So we're going to be very careful not to let too much support rise up for other people. Love leeches wish to trade. Changelings, ancient monsters capable of shapeshifting and sucking their victims dry emotionally, arrived upon our shores. We don't like changelings generally, but okay. Trade with Grencliff. Oh, these are the guys up here. I thought they were ponies, but they're not. These are freaking changelings. Yeah. Okay, well, you're harmonious, so I mean, maybe you're okay. Our people are skeptical. We need to be careful with how they'll interact. Let's give it a shot. If they're truly harmonic, we're going to find out and see if we can't do something nice with them. Can I afford a political advisor? Not yet. I really wouldn't mind getting the political power gain guy. Just for that extra little bit of base political power. I think it's going to be well worth it. So we should be able to generate political power a heck of a lot faster. Just in time. Perfectly in time, I think, to get enough political power that by the time we have reassured the people, we will be able to work on something else. Probably poaching away from the ZDS, since at the moment they do appear to be the most dangerous, so we'll have to pay attention for the inevitable upcoming events. There's one right there, the Battle of Cod Street. Rally now, O Bakarans, your nation calls to you. The call went out over the BFZ across the city of Bakara, inflamed by the rumor that the ZDS is planning to hold a rally in front of their headquarters, called on supporters, blah, blah, blah. If the Reds won't come to us, let's go meet them. So there was a march. Okay. Various worker groups left their jobs and arrived at Cod Street, and eventually Brave Foam appeared as well. He called on all ZDS members to block the destructive riot from reaching Cod Street. At the same time, the police began to mobilize. Okay. So let's see. We don't really like any of these people with the BFZ or the ZDS. We're going to be losing a lot of stability, political power, and some pony power no matter what. It's a question of who we want to get stronger. And out of these, probably the BFZ, I guess, just so we can reduce the power of the ZDS a little bit, but that changes who I need to be attacking with my next electoral event. Make sure we can't let this get up to 70%. We may have a lot of events coming up where this is going to keep going up whether I like it or not. The BSP is going to gain some voter support. Okay. We lose support. That's terrible. Okay. Yeah, we are not looking great. Only 22% control right now. All right. Well, hopefully we are able to fix that. We have some more political power. That's good. We can get some more standing. These are all things that don't really help me in particular. Going for the research would make some sense. But then maybe we want to focus on some economic gain, at least a little bit, and see if that'll help us at all. I think we can afford not to reassure the people for a little bit. We have enough political power. As long as we don't keep spending it, we can keep doing some of these. So, what are we going to do? Are we going to arrest this guy? I guess we could. Yeah, we're going to have to keep sacking our stability, I think, but let's go ahead and arrest the leader of the BFC. It's going to take 40 days in order to do that one. I don't know. There's bound to be a way to do this. Maybe you're supposed to just accept the electoral unrest every single time? I don't know. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out one way or another. It's gonna be interesting. Let's see. Now, of course, we only have a civilian economy. We have an export focus and volunteer-only conscription laws. It's not the absolute best. What's going on here? Ah, there's a stable trading. Okay. Extra trade to Overlord. I don't know what that's supposed to do, but it does reduce my consumer goods, which is very nice. The Lily Dip Debate. Okay, so it looks like we are going to be debating against the BSP, and there's a lot of reading going on here. I'm probably not going to be reading through every single bit of this. Let's see. My foremost priority will always be protecting the citizens of Bakara and safeguarding their liberties. To guard against external threats, we absolutely need greater investments in national defense. Okay, polite stomps ripple through the crowd, blah, blah, blah. Then we turn to us. Where to begin? Let me start by saying that I, too, believe in liberty, but I also believe in fairness. She frowned and spoke with a solemn tone. After all, unlimited freedom means the freedom of the strong to abuse the weak, and the freedom of the deprived to remain deprived, until they at last waste away from neglect. Wait, is this more of like a social democrat versus libertarian thing? I have no idea. Well, we are interested in making Water Lily more popular, so let's go ahead and do that. We are actually now in the commanding position, so... Solid, I like that. Attract the moderate socialists. We need to do as many of these as we can, basically. Civil War and Longsword. Oh boy, that's down over here, I believe. You better believe that Hellquill is going to try to take advantage of that in some way if they can. These guys got a pretty darn large and extensive national focus. Those who like a lot of aggression, they'll probably have a little bit of fun with those guys, honestly. Probably have a lot of fun with any of them. Alright, let's see. How are we doing in terms of, like, resources and stuff? Pretty much the same as before. How are we doing in terms of construction? We are almost done building some infrastructure, which will speed up our factory construction in this state a little bit. I think it will pay for itself eventually, though it's kind of hard to say, really. It's either 2 factories for every 1 infrastructure, or rather 1 infrastructure for every 2 factories you want to build, or maybe it's 1 every 3. I could be wrong. Maybe building the infrastructure is not actually the right way to go, but we're going to try for it anyway. If you don't know, increased infrastructure does increase the build speed in that state, and there's a lot of mathematical equations as far as at what point is it worth building infrastructure or just building civilian factories right from the get-go. We, on the other hand, are going to be focusing as much on research as we can, given that ours is god-awful, absolutely horrible. The death of Rift Strain. Uh-oh. Word comes to us that Rift Strain, a well-known agitator with ties to the BFZ, was found dead last night in what is suspected to be a politically motivated assassination. Whoa, wait, what? I was trying to arrest him. I wasn't trying to get him killed. The incident took place outside her residence in something, and the identity of the assailant is still unknown at this time. Well, that's good at least. Rift Strain was a brave pony, outspoken in her love of liberty and unflinching champion of the downtrodden, abruptly taken away. Okay, so let's see. They gain support, and we lose support. So this did not quite work out the way that I wanted it to. At all. Okay. Well, we still need to be trying to reduce the power of the BFZ somehow, but now we can't. So... oh, we can do this one still. We can do this again. Let's go ahead and reduce their popularity a little bit, but I'm guessing if we keep doing things like this, it's very possible that it's going to keep backfiring on me. I'm not sure. Electoral arrest is going up as well. The funeral of Rift Strain. The ZDS gains support and we lose some. Okay, I don't know what the communists did. I didn't want to read all that, but there we go. So once again, we are not in the prime position. Lordy, these elections, it's so close. How can the people be so evenly split? This never happens. The offer of guarantee independence was accepted by the... I don't recall offering a guarantee of independence. Apparently we did. Oh, okay. So are we doing something with these little guys over here? Because it sounds to me like we just gave them independence. Well, they haven't called me... have they called me in? Hang on. Have we been called in on a war? I don't think we have. No, we haven't. Okay, well, that's good. The condemnation. Although the recent chaos and unrest has died down, the question remains as to which side the confrontation bears greater responsibility for an escalation. I can gain some support either way, so that's good. So the question is, who do we want to lose a lot of it? Probably the BFZ, but the ZDS is still going to be looking a little strong. We will go with this, I think. Unrest is still going up, so we're going to have to reassure the people pretty soon, which is looking a little scary. We are at risk of another country assuming leadership of our faction. Don't think there's going to be a lot that I can do about that one, alas, but okay. What's this? Resource gain efficiency? We'll worry about some of that later, I think. For now, let's go ahead and work on some construction speed and factory output for the next year. Because anything that gives me a bit of an economic leg up would certainly be beneficial at this point. Yeah, so this arrest actually was unnecessary here, because it's going to be burning down a faction that doesn't matter too much. It's the ZDS I need to worry about, and we do have to keep reassuring the people, or else our electrical unrest is eventually going to result in something pretty darn negative. So we may have to do this next time, and then after that we can try to attract the moderate socialists, I guess? Or something? I don't know. A little concerned that we're going to have a heck of a time actually making this one work for us. Oh look, we're the leader in trying to form the Federation. Does anyone else actually try? I'm curious if all the other national focus trees have always had this option, or if it's a thing that only a few of them have. I don't know. Let's reassure the people, because we cannot allow the election to take place at 70%. So we'll burn this down. In the meantime, of course, we will get some extra political power, which is nice. We lose support and the BSP grows. Gosh dang it. You guys are not kind to the Democrats. I guess it makes sense. Everyone's ganging up on the incumbent. Everyone picks on me. How dare you. Let's go ahead and do some training with our ponies here, just so we can get a little bit of army experience. What else am I doing with them right now? Nothing. So I think we might as well have a little bit of extra army experience to work with. Okay, here comes the construction speed and such. That's going to be nice. We can improve literacy. Design company, resource gain efficiency, monthly population, supply consumption, all of which are pretty decent. We can stick to the sea. So we have two different options. This one gives me political power, which is nice. Reinforce the shipping industry. Dockyard output. Or political power gain, resources to market. This seems pretty decent. I think there's both pretty reasonable options depending on what we want to do. And then there's a railway where we can get some of that infrastructure, which actually would help quite a bit. Let's go for this for now. We'll get some infrastructure. That's going to lead to some extra civilian factories, just to let me snowball a little tiny bit faster. Yeah, we need to get the communists out of here, dang it. We need to get the communists out of here super duper fast. It's unfortunate that reassuring the people doesn't do anything to actually make people want to vote for me. Yeah? I would think that being reassured is great. But maybe not. You want to go for concentrated or dispersed? Let's go for dispersed this time around for the heck of it. I think that's fine. Not that I'm too worried about factory output, but I'd like to just go ahead and make our decision and we'll commit to it. This research malice hurts, though. Hurts real bad. I mean, getting rid of the modest illiteracy will help a little bit, but what we really want to do is build up our science base somehow. Somehow. Who is currently the leader of our faction, by the way, of this here River Coalition? It looks like we are currently the faction leader, which is why it's warning me that somebody else might assume this. Okay, well, that's something. We gained some voter support. Okay, good, but unfortunately unrest is going up again, which is why we have to keep reassuring the public. We're dangerously close here to the 70% threshold. As long as the election doesn't take place at 70%, I think we will end up being okay, but still. So yeah, we have to attract the moderate socialists next, I think. We probably focused a little bit too hard on the BFZ. And that could end up costing me, but let's see. So the stable trading is done because prerequisites are no longer filled. I don't know why, but okay. Something happened, something changed. Well, there we go. Let's attract the moderate socialists. We're going to lose some more stability, but at least now we're sitting pretty at 29%. 75 days remaining in this election. Let's see if we get any more negative events that mess things up for me. Hopefully not. We have finished a railway plan. That's good. We can go for the civilian or the military factories. Probably want civilian to start. This does open up a new design company as well, but I think, yeah, let's go ahead and focus on those civilian factories. That'll speed things up a slight bit, but our construction speed is just truly awful. Really, truly, truly awful. Still doing the best that I can at the moment. Okay, so yeah, let's just sit back and wait for a second. Not so red after all. We gain support and the ZDS loses some support. We're sitting at 31%. That's looking like a pretty decent amount right there. Not bad, not bad. 31%. Hopefully nothing else messes me up. The BSP is now currently our big threat. If we can burn things down for them, that would be great. Get some political power. We take part in river games. Okay, or it's a waste of time. I don't see any reason not to do this. Sure, let's just get some more political power. We only have 15 days before I can do another one of these anyway. So, probably worth it. And if we can just poach the BSP voters right off the bat, it's an immediate effect. So, yeah, I think that's fine. For 40 days, stability goes down. You would like to think that the stability comes back after a while, but apparently not. Does it? Hang on, I don't think so. It's not. It doesn't say that it's a reduction in, like, base support per day. But, I don't think it comes back. Oh, it does come back. What do you know? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and poach some of the BSP voters. Well, I say that. Hang on. Actually, no. We have to reassure them one more time. Ah, wait. We don't have time for this. Okay. I shouldn't have done that. Well, hopefully we win the election anyway. I forgot this takes 50 days instead, so we're barely not going to be able to time this around the time of the election. In the meantime, though, I guess we are getting some extra political power. So as long as we do win this and we don't have 70%, we're going to end up being okay, and that political power might actually be the right way to go. As far as our research, I would love to get a lot of other things in terms of infantry and weapons and tanks and blah, 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 but I think it's more important for us to go ahead and work on some more construction tech. It's only a little bit ahead of time, but we need as much construction help as possible if we want to get an economic industrial base. That will help me win. Here comes some more of those civilian factories. Thank you very much. We probably do want to combat the illiteracy. None of these, I don't think any of these are necessary at the moment. We could work down toward the domestic businesses, which gets me more political power gain. I don't need dockyard output or escort efficiency. That's not too important. Out of this, I think these are the best. So let's go ahead and start working toward the, I don't know, how much is going to cost me to fix illiteracy, do you think? Let's go ahead and try to fix illiteracy. I've got some political power at the moment. We could delay picking up another advisor if we don't need anybody at the moment. What is justification of war against somebody? Farbrook? Farbrook. Farbrook is apparently getting Protector of the North, which gives him a war goal on at least somebody in my faction. Well, I don't think I much appreciate that, thank you. A genius at capital ships, fleet logistics, or old screen. Woo, hang on, the old guard can get us some political power. I forgot, this stuff's pretty decent. It'll take a while for this to pay for itself, but I guess we can give it a shot. Yeah. Let's go for the old guard. Now we're making 1.75 political power per day, which is not half bad, to be honest. All right, only at 65%. Please, no more events. We only have 10 days until the election. We're out of time, I know that, but let's get the election results real quick and make sure that we don't have to worry about that electoral unrest. We're at 31%. So unless people, like, start combining their votes in, like, the collective vote or something like that, we should be good. Should be good. The River Republic is apparently trying to get some points for the Federation, by the way. Okay, the end of the run, and carry on, Water Lily! Good, the popularity of Harmony is going to be going up, which is, of course, the democratic ideology in this game. The new president will be inaugurated in 30 days, and we get to get rid of one of these, the election of 1007, which is reducing my political power. So this is great. We get rid of that nonsense, and now we're making 3.1 per day. Whoa, what? That doesn't sound right. I think, oh, because our national focus stopped. Why? Why did the national focus stop? Oi! How was it supposed to stop? All right, I think it's because if we had a different electoral victory, we probably would have had a new national focus tree. Okay, well, either way, let's give that one a go. So, this is a good place to end this video. So we have an election. We are going to be playing the diplomatic game, and I'm going to try to form a federation, gosh dang it. And then we'll see if we can use it to get rid of all the monarchs and despots across the world. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.
All right, let's go ahead and do it.